NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall. 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall. 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead.
All right, so here we go. Ross back in the booth. John Ross and Russ here tonight. We are bringing you some concrete action at Dover. Super excited about this one. We might have a smaller field tonight, Russ, but Man, I can't wait for this. We're going to talk about all the points that we've got going on, what we've got going on with this schedule, some qualifying results, and really what we can expect here at Dover. Russ, how is it going tonight for you?
Oh, good so far, man. I'm excited to be here at Dover tonight. This is, one of my favorite tracks to watch the races at in real life. But, man, I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm glad I'm not out there tonight because this is one tricky track here on iRacing.
Yeah, as you can see now, Jurgen is going to get up there and slam that wall on the exit of 4, and you're going to expect some of that as we look at what we can go through and what we can think about on this concrete oval. Now, we were at concrete last week. We're here at concrete tonight. A lot higher banking to go around this track. But, man, the thing that I love about this, Russ, especially in the next gen, is how it pays dividend to be really patient on your tires early and be a lot faster later. And that is going to play into the hands of some of those guys and those drivers that really appreciate long run speed, like your Andrew Teffs and your Cole Haas's and even like your Gary Bowmans. What are you thinking tonight on how they're going to be able to attack this concrete oval?
Tell you right now, I was talking to some guys earlier on, and man, this place is eating the tires alive, like you were saying. I mean, guys were out trying to do some long run practicing, and they come down pit road, and their tires were in their right side tire was like in the single digits. So this concrete surface is definitely wreaking havoc with these tires here tonight. So I absolutely agree with you. If you can figure out how to manage your tires and manage them well, it's going to benefit you in the long run in this race tonight.
Well, let's take a look at where we're at in the points, because that's always super important for us right now. You can see that Andrew Teft has taken over that lead from James McRae, but now only a point is going to separate them. 244 for Andrew, 243 there for McRae. You've got Troy Thomas right there in third at 231. Pindell, and Pindell has just been on a tear. 3 wins so far on this season, 224 there for that driver. Truth Hoke right there in 5th. Gary Bowman is 6th. Then you've got Dennis Kane, Kirby, Curtis Ecker, Alex Gates, Yost, and then Trevor are going to round out your top 12. But I got to tell you, one of those drivers that I feel like is really due is that guy sitting in 5th there in the points, Truth Hoke. Let's talk about how great he was last year versus this season, what we need to see out of him tonight. Man, I just feel like his time is due here, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been one of them ones that we've seen, drastically improve over last season. I mean, he had a great season last season, but I mean, we've noticed a big change in the way that he's able to manipulate and handle his car throughout some of these races. And I agree with you. I mean, I definitely feel like he might be a dark horse to watch out for here tonight. I was talking with him a little bit earlier. He was one that was out there on a long run, so he's learning those long runs in case we get them later on in this race. So, I think the biggest thing for him is what we just talked about, really managing those tires. We've known Truth to sometimes burn them up a little bit early and then pay that consequence later on in a run. But I think if he can manage those tires earlier on in a run and have that speed at the later end of a run, he could definitely be one to watch out for tonight.
Yeah, it's a really good point. We're going to go on board with a couple of these drivers throughout tonight, and we'll talk about that. But you really have a couple of different theories here for the next-gen car, and that is running the very bottom line here in Dover, allowing that car to come up there in the apex and then work its way back down. And or you have that higher entry cutting down the track. And I think those drivers that are able to manipulate that throughout the run, so starting really down low on the bottom early on in those runs and being able to work that until they get some tire wear, then move up the track, Russ, are really going to benefit. But that's before you talk about shifting. Some of these drivers are going to get into 4th throughout 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and some of those drivers are going to leave it in 5th. So a lot of different strategies here for tire saving.
I turned some laps out here myself a little earlier today, and to be honest with you, I mean, I was kind of keeping it. I was finding myself keeping it in 4th for like the duration of a lap around here, and the timing difference really wasn't that much farther off. And so I just feel like it by keeping it in fourth, it really helps you to be able to rotate that bottom going through the corner. It might save a little bit on your tires. But it's just something we're gonna have to watch as this night goes on as to who's shifting, who's not shifting, who's staying in fifth, who's staying in fourth.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Now let's go and take a look at your starting grid here. James McCray, your second in points driver here, is going to take another pole tonight. Truth Host going to be on the outside. Andrew Teff right there in third. Troy Thomas in fourth. Ira's going to be in fifth. Jurgen in sixth. Dennis Kane in seventh. Curtis Ecker is going to be eighth. Alex Gates ninth, and then Aaron Marquis in 10th.
Last one to even attempt to lay a lap here. So the last six there, you got Rob Yost, Mike Fudge, Jesse Fox, Kensley Smith, Chris Pindell, and Trevor all choosing to not lay a lap here in qualifying.
Yeah, and, you know, Pindell is one of those drivers. He is on an absolute tear. It does look like he's going to be out there tonight. So this is going to be very interesting to see what he's going to do coming from the back. But my opinion here, Russ, is, you know, some of these drivers in the back that did not put a time in, they're going to just see how this thing goes. They're going to try to play it out. 160 laps is a lot of time, and I believe you actually went down and talked to a couple of drivers here on what we can expect from some of those pit stops and those green flag runs.
I'm talking to a couple of guys earlier on, and you know it's looking like it's you know about a 2-stop race, possibly 3, but I'm not really sure. I think their fuel window was like from 60 to 65 laps. But I have a feeling with the way that this track is, it doesn't matter when you come down pit road, it's 4 tires all the way around.
Yeah, I believe you are going to be right. And anytime they're going to want to come down, you're going to see 4 tires. You've got to think, unless it's going to be a late grade, and you've got some drivers, you know, some of those tough guys, they really enjoy playing that tire game. So you just never know what is going to happen tonight. And I got to tell you, I am super excited to see what this is going to do. Is now you already see the lights are out on that pace truck, which means we are going to go green. Now McCray, with a great run last week, he started to fall back. He had a little problems, but man, he has just been so quick this year, showing a ton of pace. And you just got to look for him right now as we get around this Dover track.
Yeah, for sure. You know, definitely had pace all season long, but we're at one of those tracks where it really suits Andrew Teft. And, you know, with the tire saving, I have a feeling like he's going to be the one that's going to pick up the win tonight. But we're going to see who's going to tear Miles the Monster, and it's already claiming his first victims.
Oh, my goodness. And it does look like maybe McCray spun the tires early. And this is going to cause all kinds of problems as the first caution is out. Let's see what happened. Was that McCray maybe spinning? Now, all of these drivers do have a fast repair, but you know as well as I do, this is just going to be something crazy. Let's see if we can go back here and see what happened to McCray. Now, that pace truck is off.
Just spun it right to the right. Yep. So did Ed Jurgen. It looked like Ed Jurgen spun his tires and went right to the wall, too.
Man, I think that has just gotten a lot of drivers. It does look like Hoke and maybe Teft were able to bounce back and be okay. But, yeah, that is just a tough thing for McCray and these drivers. You know, that's one of those things, Russ, that you want to see back. You want that back. You kind of feel bad about it, but, you know, listen, you've got 16 drivers out here on the track. McCray will come in and get some of that damage fixed, and then we'll take ourselves back green here very soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that you don't want to have happen as a driver. You kind of feel a little embarrassed about it when it happens. It's kind of like a rookie move to a lot of guys. But hey, I mean, it's 160 laps, like you said. You know, there's only 16 guys out here, so plenty of time to get that damage fixed, get them spots back, and get back up there. But man, crazy start. Miles the Monster is definitely having his way with these cars early on.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things with that new model, that new tire models. It does look like we're going to have quite a few. It does. Maybe Hoke is going to come down here on pit lane, and it looks like Teft may be down on pit lane. So that is going to turn this thing over to Ira Kohlhaas. So, you know, this driver here in the 81 has found himself sitting right now on a restart there in the pole. Now you can see McRae, Jurgen, Teft, Thomas, and Ecker, all of those drivers are going to be down pit road. I do believe they're going to get some fast repairs, but Russ, that burns that fast repair early. So now you have to be super careful here for the rest of this race.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's so early that, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about taking it right now. I mean, if I had like a minute worth of damage, I would take what I could get and just kind of hang in the back, try to keep the car safe until we get another caution or snap the next pit stop, get a little bit more damage. You know, it kind of work it throughout the race. There's still plenty of time. I wouldn't be burning that up because you could be involved in something far, far worse later on in this race where you could really, really use it.
Yeah, that is a good point. And some of those drivers that did not turn in laps, they have now found themselves. Let's just look at Pendel. Last week's winner, he is sitting in 8th right now, starting in 17th. So, you know, that's a lot of fortune for some of those drivers here. Now, that is something, Russ, we're going to have to watch out for throughout the rest of this night is these drivers putting that power down early on in this race in these next-gen cars. Man, we have seen it time and time again this year where these restarts or these initial starts on these cold tires are just something that it's just a handful for these drivers.
Like you said earlier, you know, with this new tire model, man, these things are a lot more sketchy. And then, you know, I mean, we got about 110-degree track temp right now, so any time that the track temp is over 100 degrees, you got to really be careful with your throttle input on these starts. And I mean, it may be the last time we see that tonight, but it also may not be the last time we see that here tonight.
All right, so there we go. We got that first caution out of the way. Now this 81 machine is going to bring us down to the restart. As you can see, that's a flagger there with that green flag in his hand. We are now green flag. And man, what a great start there by the 81. The 77 is looking underneath of him right now as they go side by side here into one.
Seen a lot of speed in practice. I think he was the fastest in practice and definitely wanted to show that speed off right now here early on.
Yeah, so he is going to get that pass done. Alex Case now taken off to the lead. And he is hugging that bottom line very nicely here as he is going to get out to about 0.4 of a second lead. Now, these two drivers about a second up on Dennis Kane. And so, folks, you can see that where it says Atlanta there. We are definitely at Dover. Not sure why it shows Atlanta here, but we'll see if we can pull up this ticker and see if we can rotate this thing back and forth. You can see that it does say that we are here at Dover, but now it looks like that 83 of Yost all over the back end here of Dennis Kane.
Being here early on, kind of running that, like you said earlier, kind of running that low to middle to low cornering, and seems to be paying off for him now as he's looking to the trying to find a shot to the inside of Dennis Kane here.
Yeah, 7 laps are already in, and these things are going to click by pretty quickly. Now, Dennis Kane getting a little loose on the exit of 4. That's going to open that up to Yost. Not only Yost, but a slew of drivers. Kinsley Smith's going to get by. Pendella's going to get by. Now, Truth Hope there on the outside.
Yeah, one little misstep, man, it cost you spots, but it looks like we got big trouble on the backstretch. Troy Thomas going around.
All right, we're going to let that settle down, and then we will take a look and see what happened here to Troy Thomas. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look. Troy in the 3 car. That's the bright green. James McRae down at the bottom. Oh, James is going to get loose, and he's going to tag him, and Jurgen is going to get into McRae, and you know McRae used that fast repair. Oh, my goodness. The 7-Eleven is going to get into that. It looks like Troy's going to get himself turned back around. All right, so Daniel Hewitt out there in chat saying if Gates wins, he'll shave the toes. All right, we'll take it. Now, Daniel, if the 77 wins, you have to pay up, and we got to find a way to verify that you paid up. But listen, you can't just throw that out there. And if it happens, you're going to have to pay up here. Now, it does look like Troy Thomas has some pretty serious damage there on that left front, Russ.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see what he does here because he was involved in that first lap wreck too. So if he took his fast repair early on, he's going to have to sit there for a little bit and get some of this damage fixed.
Yeah, it does look like the 77, Kinsley Smith, Chris Pendell, Truth Hoke. The 69 is right there, and Jesse Fox. All of these drivers staying out here. Troy Thomas. No, I'm sorry. That's going to be Ecker there. Man, these green and black cars all over the place this season, but it does look like Ecker is going to stay out as well.
Hey, I was talking to Troy here a little bit earlier, and he actually made a comment about how many green and black cars have showed up ever since he showed up at the beginning of the season with a green and black car.
Yeah.
He's like, I think everybody wants my style, man.
Yeah, that is something else. There are several. I mean, 3, maybe 4. You can see all 4 of them. That's the 69, the 8, Troy Thomas, and who is the other driver
Dennis
there?
Kane.
With Dennis Kane, all with those neon green and black. I mean, I guess Jesse Fox has a different color green, so maybe you can't call that, but it is what it is.
I mean, but you know, we could take this all the way back to last season, and really all of these guys are just copying the original black and green of that Russ Martin guy that we know.
Yeah, that's what it is. It always comes back to old Russ Martin. So here we go. Now these lights are off here on this pace truck. That thing is going to shoot down, and I got to think, you know, with 16 drivers, Russ, you would think we're going to get, and it's going to settle down. Second caution tonight. We know it's going to settle down here. And they're going to have some long green flags. So I think all of these drivers have to think about tire saving, fuel management, about, what did you say, 60 to 65 laps.
Yep. Look at them. I mean, these guys are going to settle down. They're going to get tired of pacing around here, and like you said, you know, just going to have to manage this stuff. Got the green flag back out.
Green flag is in the air. 77 with a fantastic jump. He is going to get a massive lead here on the field. Now you're going to have Pendell fight. Oh, he might get this done here, Russ.
Yeah, Pendell looking to the inside of Kinsley Smith there, going into 3. Had a big check up there on the start. It looked like everybody was just a little too extra cautious on getting the throttle down, but big check up in the back of this field. But got a big battle going on up here up front.
Yeah, Pendell is now going to slide back. He is going to hang on to that 3rd position, get back in line with Kinsley Smith. Kinsley is going to start moving his way forward. Now it looks like Andrew Teft is going to start battling Jesse Fox here for 4th.
One guy here that we're going to have to keep an eye on. We know he's really good at saving his tires and having them good for the end of a run. So already starting to make some moves. We're going to have to keep an eye on him to see what he does. We got trouble in the back. Dennis Kane and Troy Thomas going around again.
All right, and now we have yet another caution here. Caution out on the field. This is going to be number 3 in 14 laps. Let's see if we can go back. It looks like McRae may be caught up in this as well. Everything looks good. Jesse Fox is checking up. Oh, it just kind of a chain reaction. I'm not sure what happened to Dennis. Slowed down. Troy Thomas slowed down. I'm not really sure what happened here. Man, lots of damage to the front end of Troy Thomas's car. The 27 is going to come to a stop.
Same guy's having quite a lot of trouble here early on in this race, man. It's going to be a long race for them.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy on what's going on. Now we see Pendell. He is going to come down pit lane. And let's see if we can get a hold of Pendell. Where is he at? There Pendell is. Let's see if we can find him. Here he comes. He is going to come down. Truth Hoke is going to come down. Rob Yost. Now we assume that Kane and Troy Thomas are going to come down. Looks like McRae is going to come down pit road as well. A lot of tires. Rob Yost is going to take a set. Pendell taking a set of tires. Only 16 laps in. These drivers choosing to take a set of tires.
There's only I mean, there's only 4 sets of tires that these guys have, but I mean, maybe they're anticipating that we're going to settle down here a little bit and we're going to turn some laps, and they're going to have just enough tires to make it through this thing because if you get a fuel run in, I mean, these tires will go the distance of a fuel run, but you're not going to have very much left by the end of it.
All right, so we are going to line these drivers back up. 16 drivers still out here. It does look like Ed Jurgen's showing out for the night, so he's going to put that thing on the hauler. So 15 drivers still fighting for some positions. We are going to go green this next time around. Alex Gates is going to still remain your leader. Kinsley Smith is going to be on the outside here. Andrew Teft is going to be in third with Ira Kohlhaas. He is going to be in fourth. Curtis Ecker in fifth, Jesse Fox in sixth, Trevor there in seventh, Mike in eighth, Chris Pendell in ninth, and then Rob Yost there in 10th.
Looks like we're ready to go green again. See if we can get some laps in here, boys.
Yeah, we need to run some green laps here, and I think if you see some tire wear and these drivers start to spread out, you're going to see some long green flag runs, and I assume that is what is going to happen. So, Russ, if you're out there in the Discord and you are a driver and you're chatting with your teammates, you are planning for that long run. What are you thinking? What are you telling your guys? Save these tires, save some fuel, be patient.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's, we've seen 3 cautions here in the first, 17 laps of this race. We just need to kind of settle in, turn some laps, save the tires, work on your fuel, and let's get a fuel run in here and clock some laps.
All right, Alex Case now in that 77 is going to bring these drivers back. They are in that Geico restart zone, and the green flag is out. Another great start here by Alex. Everybody is going to fall in line.
See, Alex showing a lot of speed here early on in this race. It's good to see because he's one of those drivers we talked about earlier on. Massively improved from last season, and definitely overdue for a win here. So good to see him out having a lot of speed early on.
Yeah, we're going to see how these tires are going to go. Kinsley Smith all over the back end now. Kinsley is not 4-2 winning, and he has put a lot of wins on the board here at Racers Elite. He is always a dangerous driver. Great to see him back out here running and racing here this next gen series, so you can never count him out. But looming in the background right there in third is going to be your points leader of Andrew Teft, and it does look like he might be under fire here by Ira there in the 81 car.
Yeah, Ira started this race in the back of the field here, and those early cautions got him up front. He's just kind of settling into his own little zone, and he's running really well tonight so far.
McRae with some earlier trouble. That is your pole sitter. He rotated those tires a little too quickly on the initial start, spun them, put that thing in the wall, and now it looks like he is battling himself back. He is all the way back up to 7th position here, and he is looking for some more. As now he is going to get around Yost. And now Trevor continuing to fall back as the 83 is getting by.
Yeah, Trevor's slowly starting to fall back just a little bit here. He's got to run in a little bit of a different line than what everybody else is. He's got to run in the middle of the top side through the corners, and seems to be slowing him down here just a little bit. We see the 69 and the 3 starting to close in on him.
And you can run that middle line. Oh, you're going to see him get super tight and into the wall there on 4. And that is the danger, Russ. You run that high line. That's the danger you run into, is because if that car gets tight on the exit, you're either off throttle or you're going to be in the wall.
Yeah, especially here at Dover. That wall, that thing shows up out of nowhere. I swear sometimes the iRacing track crews are moving that wall in just a little bit lap by lap.
All right, so there you go. The 77 car, yet again, he is still leading out here on the track. Kinsley Smith is in stalk mode, and I will tell you, you might think that Kinsley is over driving that turn, but I got to tell you, He is not. He is just running that diamond line where he allows that car to drift up and then come back down. And that lower exit, Russ, is what saves that right front because it keeps it away from that outer wall.
Putting more pressure on the rear tire coming out there on the bottom side, but that's kind of what you want to do around here, kind of run that diamond pattern, like you said. It just kind of helps save just a little bit on your tires.
26 laps now done in this race. We're going to come to 27 of 160 completed. And I think our closest battle is going to be right here in this 4-driver kind of cluster. That's the 7-Eleven, the 3 of Thomas. He is down at the bottom. You got the 69 of Fox, and then Truth Hoke right there in the 55.
Just kind of lingering around, just kind of waiting for something to happen so he can pounce. I mean, we know Truth on these, tracks like here at Dover. He could be very, very good, very smooth and consistent. So definitely going to be one to watch as these laps kick off.
He had so much success last year, and it's not a recession year. You can't say that Truth has taken a step back, but he hasn't quite had the results that he had last year, just rattling off top 5s and even some additional wins here. And you would love to see him get back up to where he was last year. Maybe just not quite the tracks that fit Truth's style, but you got to think he is always going to be a contender here in this next gen series.
He had such a great season there last year. Picked up a few wins across all 3 series that Racers Elite runs, and he's been there in contention in a lot of the races this season here. Just some misfortune and bad timing on some things that kind of held him back just a little bit this year, but always a contender for sure.
Andrew Teft has now started to close in, but before he does that, we might have a battle for this lead very, very soon as Kinsley Smith all over the rear end here of the 77 of Alex Gates. Alex leading a lot of this race early on, but Kinsley is working that diamond lines, and it looks like his tires are going to be a bit better here than Alex about midway through this run, but looming in the background, getting ever so closer is at 98.
Kinsley's able to get a little bit of a better run off of the corners than what Alex Gates is able to by just sticking to the straight bottom line. It's allowing Kinsley to really get to his back bumper down the straightaways and put a mirror full of that Diet Coke in Alex's rearview mirror.
Yeah, this is the driver here making that pass for 4th. Pindell now up, getting past Kohlhaas here for that 4th position. That might be the driver you do not want to see coming in your rearview mirror. 3 wins on the season so far. Working his way up front, now in 4th position, as, man, this battle is going to continue on here for that lead.
Pindell's had a lot of speed here this year, shown. I think he's really come out of a shell this season. We watched him last season, and he had some really good runs, but a lot of misfortune really held him back. But Chris has really come on strong here so far this season, and he's definitely looking to add some more bonus points to his chase standings.
Yeah, I will tell you, Russ, that development with Pindell, over this year in these next gen cars has been pretty substantial. You looked at, Pindell was always fast on fresh tires. Now he's starting to work that mid-race line, that long pace tire run, and that's what you're seeing from him. So last year, coming out, running really quick laps early and then burning those tires off. Now he has found a way to start being fast all the way through these runs. It's now Kinsley Smith shooting underneath of the 88 now, or the 77. We are going to have a battle for the lead, as now they're going to be side by side here on the exit of 2.
I think at this point here, the 77 safest bet probably just to let Kinsley go ahead and go, because we've seen what side by side can do on corner exit here already today. It gets really tight really quick, but he's not giving it up right away.
77 fighting back on the outside. Alex Gates not wanting to give up that lead. Kinsley Smith down underneath us. Now you can see a battle here for third and fourth right behind these two drivers as they continue to go side by side here through 3 and 4.
Yeah, you know Andrew Teff sitting in that car salivating at the mouth watching them guys race side by side for that whole time. It just put him right in the thick of it now, right on the back bumper of the 77.
Yeah, Gates now having to give up that lead. That is going to put Kinsley Smith out front. Now Pindell starting to work on the back end of Andrew. Andrew closing in on the 77. And now Pindell trying to work this outside. He might get this thing done. No, it looks like Teft is going to be able to close that door here on the entry to 1.
We're taking a peek there to the outside, but not quite the run on corner exit to get that bumper in there. Andrew Teft able to stay out front third.
A lot of rotation, a lot of tire here by the 94 to be able to try to work a line that starts high and goes low. Now he's going to get almost against the wall. He's actually going to shoot the inside here on Teft.
A little bit of a crossover coming out of the 2 there, looking to the inside, coming out of 2 now.
Pindell down at the bottom. Teft giving him plenty of room. Coming through this apex now. Teft has a great defensive position, staying well away from that wall on the exit of 4. I'm not sure how Pindell is going to get this pass done because it looks like Teft really has found a nice groove.
I think he's just gonna kind of have to sit in limbo just for a little bit and hope that the 98 slips just a little bit. I mean, it looks like that upper side has the advantage on corner exit, but you just can't seem to really get the run on the inside to be able to make a pass clean.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to try that again. Now, what is going to happen here, Russ, is Pindell is really working these tires over, trying to get by Teft. And what you want to see, and the next progression that you want to see Pindell have, is be able to work within his tires to get this pass done. When you put a lot of pressure, now he's going to be on the outside here, and this is going to tighten up. He might get this pass done, but the wear he has put on his tires to make this pass complete is going to be tough for him, as now he is still fighting Teft here off of the exit of 2.
Run this hard for this long, you're really improving those tires up. I mean, like I said earlier, they'll last a fuel run if you can manage them. I know, like I said, I talked to some guys earlier on, you know, they were running maybe a 50, 55 lap run, and they were coming in with single digits on their right front. So it's very, very easy to blow a tire here over the course of a long run if you're not really managing those tires very well.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, those drivers that are handling their tires when this, and this is about the time that you're going to see the difference in the tires, as now Pindell is going to get in the wall, and he's going to do it twice. Now Teft is against him. Teft's still turning into him there. And that is going to create a caution. Pindell and Teft not able to get off of each other.
That just goes to show you how quickly Miles can reach out and bite you. I mean, running side by side, I talked about it earlier, it gets tight on those corner exits. That's a prime example of what can happen running side by side. You get super tight on exit, slap that wall. Man, tough break for both of those guys right now.
Let's see if we can go back and take a look here. Yeah, it looks like Pindell's just going to get tight, and he's going to exit that turn. Now, Andrew able to stay off of him, and then it just maybe looks like they just get connected again there. Russ and Teft not able to get off of Pindell, and that is going to create that caution.
Yeah, it was just, you know, kind of a tough situation for both of those guys here. But guys are going to be able to come down. They're going to be able to put get some new tires on their cars and go back out and start battling it out again.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we can see that all of these drivers are going to come down. So that is going to be Kinsley Smith, which was your leader, Alex Gates in the 77. It looks like McRae has battled his way back up to third. They are all going to come down here. As you can see, this is a packed pit lane. We did have a few drivers that are going to stay out. And this is going to be your 4th caution here of the night.
Yeah, this is about what we were talking about. Where, you want those tires as often as you can safely get them without running out. And this run here was about a 30-lap run. So absolutely, come down, get those fresh tires, and top that thing off of fuel. And now if we go green, it should be I believe a one-stop race after this.
Man, and I will tell you something. Dennis Kane able to stick this thing out. He is going to stay out, so a bit of a different tire strategy. But right behind him, Kinsley Smith with those fresh tires coming out. But it looks like McRae was able to jump Gates. He is going to be in your 3rd position right behind those older tires there of Kane. And you've got to think that 4 car, has to have in the back of his mind, man, I do not want to spin tires here on this restart.
Yeah, and that's something he's really going to have to pay attention to. I mean, he's got those older tires. He might have a little bit more grip than what fresh tires will, but the worn tires will spin out just as fast as the fresh ones too. So definitely going to have to be easy getting back on the throttle here when we take this green flag.
Well, that is coming out in a hurry as we are now 48 laps in. We're going to go green at 49. The lights are out on that pace truck. A little bit of fireworks early. We had a nice green flag run there. Everybody trying to catch up is Pindell down at the bottom of that track. It looks like he's going to get an EOL. And he is going to allow everyone to pass. Man, tough night here for Hoke. Sitting right in 11th position. One of those drivers I thought would be really good tonight. Really hasn't shown that muscle, Russ, that you would think you would see from that 55 car.
Yeah, I was talking with him earlier on. I think maybe right now he's just trying to play it safe, if you will. Just kind of try to manage his stuff the best that he can, and we might see him pick it up and make a run here towards the end of this thing. But we're back under green. We see the 77 in the wall.
Man, more issues here with the start of these cars. And now McRae is going to be on the outside of Kane. Kane quickly looked like the 77. Another driver got that thing loose there on the start, spinning those tires, getting into the wall. So, man, these restarts still claiming some victims. Down the 98 underneath here of Curtis Eckert. Trying to get this pass done here. That is going to put Andrew up to that 5th position.
Those fresh tires definitely showing their muscle early on, getting around Dennis Kane on that restart. Got some more coming.
Yeah, you're going to hope for Dennis that this thing is going to level out sooner or later, but right now that is certainly not happening as the 98 is on the march. The 8 right behind him, Jesse Fox right behind Ecker. All of these drivers trying to get their positions. You can see some pretty heavy right front damage there on that 98. I don't think that's going to hurt him here, Russ, at Dover, but it is there.
Definitely still got some damage. Didn't take that fast repair. Just got whatever damage fixed that he could get fixed. And I'm sure he's probably expecting more cautions throughout this race and just try to get that thing fixed up as much as he can throughout.
Now, Kinsley Smith, we've talked about him throughout these seasons, throughout this series, and the speed that he has. Good to have him back. Good to see him running well tonight. And, man, he looks very good here at Dover. But I will tell you, McRae slowly working his way back to the front of this field. And you just got to think about a half a second is going to separate them. But, man, another great job is in this 81 machine here at Ira.
Yeah, Ira's having a great night tonight. You know, we see him come back this season. It's great to have him back. I've said that multiple times. Such a good guy, you know, to talk to and everything. Glad to see him having a good, solid, strong run here tonight so far.
Man, throw a blanket over these. This is about 5th through 10th. Now Jesse Fox looking for some room to get underneath of Ecker, but right behind him is Pindell. Pindell getting into that wreck just a few laps to go, or ago, has now worked his way up as he continues to work that middle line, trying to get some momentum, and he is going to get past Kane. now shoot underneath of the 69, so he's trying to get 2 positions here in 1 lap.
He's trying to work his way back up towards the front here. Man, you can really tell the tire difference, how fast Dennis Kane is falling to the back of the field. On a different tire strategy, see if maybe it might pay off for him later on in this race, but right now he's falling back fast.
Yeah, you'd never want to see that, and you would think Dennis is kind of hoping for these things to level off, and I think they will. But, man, sometimes, Russ, that's a bad decision, because if you get hung out, you're losing half a second to a second a lap. You can find yourself in danger of getting lapped very, very quickly now, as we still have more than 100 laps to go in this race of 160 laps. So, and it looks like Pindell starting to work on the back end of Ecker now.
It's a long way to go in this race, closing in on 100 to go, but yeah, Chris Pindell still showing a lot of speed after that wreck just a little while ago, still working his way to the front underneath Curtis Secker here in the 8th, trying to work his way back up, trying to get himself into the top 5 here.
McRae about 8/10 off of your leader there in Kinsley Smith. Kohlhaas about half a second behind McRae. So we've got plenty of room there, but here is going to be your battle as Teft in this 4th position, looking at Pindell maybe closing this gap in. So a bit of contact, creating that last caution. You might have these 2 drivers side by side very soon.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, you know, that last wreck kind of a racing deal, you know, but you know, somebody might not see it that way, so we have to definitely pay attention to this battle as it starts to heat up again.
Yeah, that is what happens at these short tracks, right, Russ? These tempers will flare. We got to all squeeze out, and we're trying to make room for the same exit spot. And, man, sometimes you just run out of room and you collide with each other. But, man, it will not be long before these 2 are going to be battling for position. Pindell, a much quicker car right now, running that mid to high line, coming down. He has found something here, and he is tracking this 98 car down pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know, this Dover track, it's a 1 mile oval. I mean, it's not as short as like a Bristol or a Martinsville, but still considered a short track. And we see short track tempers all the time at tracks like this here. So definitely going to have to keep an eye out. But 94 definitely running the 98 now. I'm not sure if the damage on the 98 is what's keeping him back and letting the 94 catch up to him, or if 94 is just that much faster than him right now.
Yeah, he has a ton of speed. As now you can see right behind, it looks like Troy Thomas was able to get by Ecker, so put Troy up to 6th. Ecker's going to back down to 7th as this battle for 4th is going to heat up here. Now Pindell all over the back end of the 98. We saw some fireworks earlier, Russ. How is this going to go this time?
Wish I knew. Like I said, I think it's all going to depend on, you know, how each of these drivers felt that last one went. I mean, it was just kind of one of those deals of hard racing, coming out of the corner, getting in the wall. But, you know, hopefully they keep it settled down and keep it respectful. And let's get this race, you know, further on down the road.
Ever so closer becomes this 94 to the 98. Pindell, your 3-time winner so far on this season, trying to hunt down your points leader in the 98. A bit of fireworks just a few laps to go, or 4 laps ago. Now it looks like we might have another battle on our hands, as almost, I believe these tires for Thomas, Russ, might have given up earliest, because it looks like Ecker starting to come back on the 3 car now.
Yeah, it could be just, you know, a little tire saving, or, yeah, he might have burned them up just a little bit. But 8 definitely trying to make a run at him here, lap 67.
Yeah, your gap to 1st and 2nd, almost a second now, about 9/10 of a second, is going to separate Kinsley Smith and James McRae. So Smith has a ton of speed here tonight in that 15 machine. Really nice to see him back. It's great to see McRae battle back after that earlier over rotation, as now it looks like here is the battle for fourth, and what is going to happen is now Pindell is going to blink out and the 98 is going to get sideways again.
Oh man, I kind of want to know what happened there, but that blink out is probably going to cause us to not be able to really see what happened. But man,
Yeah, this
tough
is
to
so
call it.
hard. This might have just been a netcode issue. As he blinks out, and then all of a sudden, that's got to be netcode there, Russ. He just blinks out and then comes back, and just the second he comes back, Tef goes sideways.
Yeah, it very well could have been. I mean, it looked like there was, quite a bit of distance between them, but man, I'm sure either way, Andrew's probably not happy right now because that's twice that he's been caught up in something with the same driver. So could be a little bit of fireworks later on in this race when this thing dwindles down if these guys get near each other again.
Yeah, it just kind of looked like he blinked, and when he did, maybe that prediction code. Now the 77 in the wall again. That's going to open the door for Marquis. Marquis in that 41, diving underneath here in one. Nice rotation through 1 and 2. Just this 41 has some nice traction now. Looks like the 77 is starting to struggle here on the outside.
I was just going to say, Alex showed a lot of speed early on in this race, led, a bunch of the beginning of this race. Now he seems like he's really struggling on corner exit into the wall again right there. Looks like he's getting tight. Looks like the tires are burned up or he's got some kind of damage or something. He is definitely struggling here late in this run.
Yeah, here's that driver there that was in fourth. That is Teft. Now having to work his way back as it looked like a bit of netcode created some issues here for Teft. He was able to save that car, not create a caution, but what that has caused him is to slide all the way back to 12th position, and he has just a mountain to climb here, Russ, if he wants to get back into contention.
Up the board, but I mean, he's about, I believe, close to a half a track behind the leader at this point. Yeah, definitely got a mountain climb, but I'll definitely hope for a caution or maybe some kind of a bold pit strategy if we don't see another caution here.
Yeah, you got to think he wants another caution because when you look at that right front damage still on that car, you would have to think he wants to get some repairs done, but certainly way back as now this battle starting to heat up. Truth Hoke working his way through the field. Now he is looking to the back end here of Ecker in that 8 machine.
That was like Truth just kind of settling in, own little groove here, and now maybe saved a little bit of tire and has just a little bit of a little bit better tire than what these guys here have right now, and able to start working his way back forward again.
Yeah, Kane is right in front of Ecker. So Kane is sitting, it looks like Ecker, Dennis Kane is going to be about 11th. So there's Troy Thomas there. So that is 5th position, right in front of Ecker. Truth starting, I think on that restart, Russ, he was way in the back. And like you said, just saving tire, working off, and you can see it even on the exit of 4, Ecker pushing right up against that wall, and it looks like Truth just has some fantastic turn on the exit, allowing that car to stay off of the wall by a good degree. So that's nice, safe driving, saving that right front tire.
Got a lot better car turn through the apex of the corners there, and able to really get it down on the bottom and keep himself clear of that wall on corner exit where the 8 just seems like he's getting a little bit tight and pushing up towards that wall.
On the march back, here's the 98 looking underneath the Dennis Kane. He might do it really quickly. I think he's going to get that pass done fast. So that is going to put him up to the 11th position. Now, Jesse Fox next on the chopping block for the 98 as he tries to march his way back after that incident there with Pindell. Pindell in 4th, but now he's about 2.3 seconds back. But one of the quicker drivers on the track is that 27, Russ. starting to inch his way closer to this 15 machine.
Yeah, just kind of settling into his zone, doing a little bit of tire saving. And now he's starting to turn it up just a little bit. It looks like he's starting to make just a little bit of headway towards the leader here, Kinsley Smith. But Smith still turning some great laps out there and holding on to this lead.
Yeah, and it looked like on the exit of 4, we're just looking at what McRae is doing, pushing a little wide on the exit of 4. You know, really good in 1 and 2, as you can see him really working that bottom through that apex. You just want to see these cars come down the track on the exit. You don't want to see him push it out. As you can see him get really under control on the exit. So both of these cars, that 15 and that 27, saving a ton of tire, running great lines here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're both utilizing that diamond pattern really well and able to save just a little bit of tire. And definitely showing that they're the class of the field right now.
That 15 car is still putting it on him here. He is about 0.8 of a second up, but man, we're going to go right back here. Is now Marquis fighting over that 8th position. Alex Gates in the 77 has it. Oh, and he's going to get in the wall big time. And it just looks like that 77 Russ just having some pushing issues here.
Yeah, like I said, he showed a lot of speed early on in this race. Just looks like he is struggling just to be able to hold on to this car right now at this point. Maybe hoping for a caution or wait for this next round of pit stops to come in, maybe make a little bit of changes or something here and get this car back feeling good again.
Man, now it looks like he is all over Marquis in that 41, trying to find his way around the 77. And he might get it. No, he's going to have to fall in line, but he is all over the back end. I will tell you, Russ, it is nice to see these drivers be so competitive, but what is also great is to take some time and get around these tracks with some of these drivers, and we are going to do that. We're going to hop on board with Marquis, and we're going to just take about 3 or 4 laps around with him on the onboard with that 41 machine. So let's see if we can hop on board here with the Aaron Marquis in the 41.
Yeah, see what it takes to get around here, Gilbert.
All right, so there you go. A couple of laps around there with Aaron Marquis really showing you what it takes to navigate this track. Now, as you were on board watching Marquis navigate this Dover Speedway, you saw not only Teff go around Marquis, but also go around that 77, and he is on that march forward. But as we go back and check up on some of these other drivers, now it does look like Thomas fighting with Truth Hoke here in that 55 machine as we have Mike Fudge down pit road. But man, this is a battle right here, Russ, for about 6th position, as again, Andrew Teff now in 8th, and he is only, well, it looks like he's about 4 seconds behind these drivers, but man, he is on the march forward.
And trying to start tracking down Truth and Troy here, but you know, the one thing I want to mention when we're doing that ride along is how long the 41 Aaron Marquis had to be out of the throttle because of how tight this car was. And I noticed he wasn't downshifting. So that was kind of interesting, because I know that was one thing we were talking about earlier, was the difference between, you know, running 5th all the way around and downshifting into 4th through the corners, or maybe even running 4th gear all the way around. So very interesting to see that this late in a tire and a fuel run that he is still running in 5th gear and not downshifting.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Now, it looks like Hoke able to get around the 3 car of Thomas, but yeah, you would think some of these drivers, let's see if we can go on board here with Thomas. Let's see what he is. So he is staying in 5th. One and 2, he is going to stick in 5th. Let's see what your leader is doing. Man, he is just nice and smooth here, Russ. He's got a great line.
It's just really kind of baffling to me that none of these guys are downshifting into 4th. I just feel like, you know, when I was out there a little bit earlier doing a little bit of testing around here, that I had so much better rotation through the center of the corner when I was downshifting to 4th. But maybe they know something that we don't know, John.
Well, listen, he knows about a second lead over James McCray right now, as your closest battle on the track is going to be once again the 77 of Gates and the 41 of Marquis. They are still arguing over this 9th position. Gates has it. Marquis trying to snag it away from him. Gates with such a good run earlier, leading a ton of laps. You know that's got to do a lot for his confidence, but as he sits right now, running in 9th, and man, that car it just looks like he's early on throttle, not allowing that car to start working its way down the track, and that has just cost him over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, you know, where you know, he was just kind of really just sticking that car and wrapping the bottom instead of letting it kind of float up and get that arc, be able to drive down and out of the corner. And you know, I'm not really sure if that's what's causing him the problems right now, but definitely not looking as strong as he did earlier on in this race, John.
He is almost touching that right front fender on the exit of 4 every single lap, and that has allowed Marquis to get back to his bumper here. And again, this is going to be a battle for your 9th position. 1.2 is going to separate 1st and 2nd. Pindell now is going to be in 3rd. So we've got somebody in 3rd that has pit and come back out. And we will see how that is going to go, as it looks like now we are in that window, Russ, of people being able to get pit stops, get some fresh tires, and make it to the end.
Sure. I mean, I was just going to say, I think we might be in tune to start seeing some green flag pit stops here. I mean, I think the last time was around lap 47 when we had that last caution, but I mean, we're definitely within the window to make it here to the end of the race. So now we see the leader, Kesley Smith, coming down pit road. Definitely in that window.
Not only do you see that, but I might see a black flag for Ira Kohlhaas. He is in a, we'll see if he comes in. Now, Kinsley Smith coming down to pit. That is your points, or that is your race leader. McCray is now going to come down pit road. And man, it looked like he might have touched the wall on the entrance, and I do believe McRae has a black flag. Russ maybe entering pit road too quickly. We'll see if how long that keeps him here.
Say this track in Dover has got a very, very tricky pit entry. I know some guys during practice were struggling with being able to get on here or to get on this pit road. So it really wouldn't surprise me to see, now that we're doing green flag pit stops, see a couple of drivers have some issues getting on.
Right sides are up now, left side's up on the 27. Let's see what happens here. And there is the hold, folks. So you are going to see now, he is not the only one. Troy Thomas has now gotten a black flag for entering too quickly. So you've got, it looks like James McRae holding for 40 seconds. Troy Thomas now is going to hold for 40 seconds. Ira Colehouse is going to come in. He has a black flag.
Yeah, I mean, you really gotta work on those pit entries, and you know, and no matter how much you work on them here, man, this is Dover, man. I mean, they don't have a mascot called Miles the Monster for nothing. This thing will bite you in any way that it can, and man, so far 3 bitten by pit road.
Man, that has flipped this thing up on its head. Both of those drivers, McRae and Colehouse or Troy Thomas, with some fantastic runs so far. Now, what that is going to do as we cycle this back around is this is leaving your leader here as Curtis Ecker in the 8. Now, Curtis has not pit yet. We've got Truth Hoke in second. He has not pit. Andrew Teft has not pit. Marquis and Trevor, all of those drivers have not pit. So, and now we can see Curtis Ecker. He is going to come down pit road. Nice clean entry. No black flag for Ecker. That is going to turn that over to Truth Hope as we come up to 110 laps. So only 50 laps to go, and that can go by in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're green flag racing. I mean, we go green flag to the end. These guys can make it. No more pit stops. So you got to make sure your tires make it to the end of this thing. And we see Truth Hope coming on the pit road now. So that's going to only leave, I believe, Aaron and Trevor left out there to get some pit stops.
Andrew now in and out. Ecker in and out. Marquis is going to take over your top spot. Now, it does look like Kinsley's going to be 4th on the field right now. Now, he will be your leader when all of these cycles are completed. But right now, you have Aaron Marquis in that 41, as we show him here. And Trevor is going to be 2nd. Kinsley Smith in 3rd. He's about 23 seconds behind your 2nd place driver.
Yeah, once Aaron and Trevor come down pit road, just to cycle back out to Kinsley, who looks like he's going to have a fairly decent-sized lead over Chris Pendell by the time this thing cycles out.
Yeah, McRae getting that flag really put Kinsley in an amazing position here, because now Kinsley is able to really manage tires. He's got a ton of room to work with. It looks like that's going to be about 10 seconds as the leader to Pendell. So he has all the room in the world to drive this thing onto the finish. If this thing stays green to checker, he should be able to manage tires and just continue to put solid lap times down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no point in overdriving anything right now. Just get yourself into a nice, comfortable zone and bring this thing home.
Now Ecker coming out. He is going to be about a second behind Pendell. He will have some fresher tires, so we'll have to keep an eye on this race. As man, Ecker has really shown a ton of speed this season, not only in this series, but in a couple of the other series, because you know Racers Elite runs 4 nights a week from a series standpoint. They also have races every single night. So if you want to come and race, racerselite.com, that is the way to go. You can find them on Facebook as well. But they race all the time, in Ecker in almost every one of those races. He has shown a ton of speed this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw him last year, running. I mean, like you just said, there's a bunch of guys here at Racers Elite. They run every night that Racers Elite runs, and so they've got plenty of experience across all the different facets between the trucks and the Xfinity or the ARCA, or these next gens. So a lot of good racers here, and last season we saw Curtis have a lot of really good runs. Really come into his own again this year, showing a lot of speed, and he's definitely one that's going to break through here soon, I believe.
All right, Kinsley Smith is going to take over that lead now, Russ. That is going to put him up about 9.5 seconds over Pindell. I don't think there's a whole lot Pindell can do here, other than trying to stay in front of Ecker, trying to stay in front of Hoke, for that second position. But now what Kinsley needs to do, settle in, and now he's going to get loose on the exit of 4. He needs to settle in, save that right rear, save that right front, hit your marks. You have 9.3 seconds. Now, Pindell's going to push, but you have 9 seconds on that driver. You just need to save those tires.
100%. I mean, we're down to, 30 or 42 laps to go, and still plenty of time. Just, you can easily, this big of a lead, easily mind the gap, save your tires, you can let that lead dwindle for, down 5 or 6 seconds, and really not push your car and still have yourself a lot of tires. Chris is going to push to try to catch you, and he's going to burn his stuff up. So save those tires, have it for the end, and then bring this win home.
Yeah, now 8.9 is going to separate these drivers. So Pindell is certainly quicker, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be quicker over that long haul. And again, with such a big lead, Kinsley is hoping there is not a caution and he could just coast this thing to the win. Now he is right behind Teft. Teft was your last driver on the lead lap. Teft is going to go high and allow Kinsley to get by pretty quickly. Teft still with some right front damage to that car.
Yeah, let Kinsley go by there pretty quick, and now the inside the top 5 are the only ones that are still on the lead lap. So Kinsley definitely check it out here and putting on a clinic, if you will, later on in the late stages of this race.
Yeah, that last lap, a 24.4 for Kinsley, a 24.2 for Pindell. So Pindell certainly quicker right now, but that of course could be Kinsley there in tire saving mode. Is now Marquis is going to get by that 69 of Fox, and not only is he going to do that, but that is going to open the door for Troy Thomas. Troy Thomas now going to get by that 69.
Yeah, a lot of guys here looking like they're making some moves here later on in the race. Looks like Alex Gates had a little bit of trouble. We were talking about him earlier on having so much speed in the beginning. Looks like he's now down 11 laps. I wonder what happened to Alex Gates there in that 77.
Yeah, it looked like he had to go down pit lane a little bit, about 3 laps ago, and get some pretty serious damage fixed. But yeah, such a great run by him earlier, and it just shows you the skill that Alex has and the opportunity he has to be such a quick driver. And I think if he wraps this thing up into a nice little bow, as he continues to go along and put races under his belt, he's just going to get quicker and quicker and quicker. As now we are taking a look at Pindell in your second position, has now started to slow that pace a bit. He is going to be slower the past 2 laps than what Kinsley Smith was. So now we're starting to see that tire wear come in, Russ.
Yeah, I've been, here at Dover with this concrete surface, it's not going to take very long for your tires to equalize. So, I mean, almost getting into the back of the 77 right there. But once these tires equalize, it's going to be really hard to make any kind of a move late in this race as these laps are winding down. So, it's been about 20 laps or so now since green flag pit stop started. So I'm sure these tires are starting to wear themselves out. They're starting to equalize, and at this point, it looks like Kinsley's on an easy road to a victory if this thing stays green.
Yeah, I believe if it does stay green, Kinsley has shown the speed. He's shown the pace over the long run. And I think you're going to see that continue on. Now, Pindell is in heavy traffic, but it really doesn't matter, Russ. Like, if you have 33 laps to go, if you're somebody like Kinsley, you can give up a second, 2, 3. Hell, you can give up 5 seconds here, saving tire to be faster at the end, and Pindell's got to be the one that catches you.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was saying earlier on. You know, I mean, you can, this big of a gap, you can save so much tire for the end of this run. You know, you could give up 5, 6 seconds to Chris and let him get within 2 or 3 seconds of you. And then by the time he does that, he's burning his stuff up. You got that extra tire where you can drive right back away from him again.
Yeah, and you know, that's got to be what that 15 car wants. He does not want any cautions. Now it looks like we've got a bit of a battle here again. Marquis continuing on the march. He is going to be after Dennis Kane. Marquis wanting a top 5 position. It looks like Kane has it, but Marquis on the charge forward.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to make a move here to the inside of Dennis Kane, trying to keep himself going forward here. He's having a really good run here tonight so far, trying to make this pass for 5th, get himself a top 5, having a great run tonight in that 41.
Yeah, he does now take over that 5th spot as Kane is going to drop back to 6th. Teft is right there in 7th. And then it looks like Thomas is going to be in 8th. So all of these drivers, you've got 5th, 6th, and 7th right there under a blanket. Man, he just has a nice line. He looks just good and smooth tonight, and he has shown that in a few of these tracks here where he can just be nice and smooth and consistent, and he is doing that right now at Dover.
Yeah, for sure, having a great run here. I don't mean to pull the attention away, John, but you know, we're looking at that 98, and look who's 2 cars behind him running in 2nd, trying to chase him down right now to get by him. We might see some more fireworks.
There is an opportunity for that. You know that Teft is probably not happy from that earlier incident. They were nice and clean on that last pass, but you never know what is going to happen, because you're right. He is right there. He is trying to get around Jesse, and I think he's going to be able to do that pretty quickly, but how he navigates around Teft is going to be something, and we're going to stick it right here. Is now almost a 10-second gap here between Pindell and your leader, and now Jesse is going to run that high line, not leave a big opportunity for Pindell, and he is going to block him here going down this straightaway into 3.
Yeah, now it looks like he's going to run up the high side and give way to Chris Pindell here and let him get up there to Andrew Teft, and it looks like Curtis Eckers is going to take advantage too and get by the 69, but we'll see what happens here with this 94 and this 98 get back together.
Yeah, but you've got to look now. That 8 machine, that's for position right there, Russ. So that is for your 2nd spot. So it looks like Curtis Ecker has been able to run Pindell back down and through this traffic. So Pindell needs to get through the 98, past the 98, past Troy Thomas, and he needs to move on quickly because Ecker is on the move forward.
Yeah, and right here, I mean, you know, if there was any bad blood, I mean, it could be shown right here, not just in wrecking, but I mean, Andrew could easily hold Chris up and allow that 8 car to catch him and make that pass for 2nd if he really wanted to. But you know, we're gonna have to see how this plays out. But that 8 having a heck of a run here late in this race, down to 25 laps to go, looking for P2.
Yeah, and you know, this is another battle because here we go. Pindell is going to be on the outside. Ecker down below. Teft right in front of Pindell. So this is a 3-car battle, and there's a little bit of drama, but your position for 2nd is between that 94 and that 8. The 98 right now is going to sit in 7th position. And I just feel like Pindell needs to find another line around Teft or he's going to lose that 2nd spot. Is now Ecker underneath the Pindell's in the wall.
Yeah, it felt like a little bit like what I said, a little bit of retribution. Looked like Andrew running that defensive line trying to hold up that 94 car. And that allowed the 8 to make that pass for second here. And now we're going to see what these guys do.
Oh, Pindell's going to get in the wall again. So he's just getting tight now. Let's see what Ecker can do to get by. Ecker now is second to get by Teft.
Teft just gives away and lets Ecker go.
Now Pindell, oh, there's a block. And another block high by Teft.
Definitely some bad blood brewing right there. I mean, you can't deny it. He's trying to block that 94 at all costs right now. Not happy.
Oh, there you go. Just another push to Pindell, and he's going to run him up to track.
Drama from Dover. Gotta love it.
Man, some attitudes are flaring right now, and let's see what Pindell is going to do. Is now Ecker is going to try to work his way underneath the Thomas. I believe he's going to get that done, so he is securely into second position. Only 20 laps to go. 9.8 seconds are going to separate your leader and your second place driver, as Pindell is still going to try to navigate around Teft. And I just don't know if he can do it here. 19 laps to go. Maybe Pindell just wants to sit back and just allow this race to move on.
Yeah, very well be. I mean, at this point, it's probably the best bet for him. Because other than that, I mean, Andrew's kind of shown that Chris is going to have no choice but to move the 98 out of the way, and we've seen it happen twice already tonight. Incidents between them two, and you'd really hate to see it happen a third time, but Andrew's kind of leaving Chris no choice at all, either ride or move me.
Yeah, I think in this position, Russ, if you're the 94, you understand the frustration, but at the same time, you want to think, hey, let's let this thing go and let's continue to move on and race, or we're going to continue to carry this thing over from one race to the next, but let's just move on and race and get this thing behind us. But it doesn't look like the 98 wants to do that right now.
Oh, not at all. It looks like, he's just hell-bound to just kind of hold the 94 up, and like I said, like you said, if you're 94, you've got to kind of, possibly see this coming. So, best bet just to kind of settle in, and just kind of let this thing play out. I mean, we got coming to 15 laps to go, and the second place is kind of moving away from you at this point, and you're just gonna have to kind of take the blunt on the chin and move on to the next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens now. 3.5 seconds is going to separate Pindell from Curtis Ecker. And it looks like maybe Pindell has decided to settle himself back down here. We've got 15 laps to go. Teft getting by. Now, all of these black and green cars, it's hard to keep them straight. But both of these drivers getting past, I'm not sure, and we're just sticking right here. This is the closest battle. Pindell's still trying to get by Teft. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know either, John. It's one of those tricky situations of, incidents happening earlier in the race and tempers boiling over later in the race. And like I said, if I was Chris, I know I've got third. For the most part wrapped up, if I could bring this thing home in one piece, and podium's never a bad thing, so bring this car home and move on to next week.
Yeah, he's got 3 wins on the season. He's in a podium position right now, so that's where you need to be just to continue to move yourself forward. And so again, just like you said, no need to really push this thing. It looks like he's going to settle right back in here behind Teft. And I believe he's going to get that done. Now, what that does is it puts this driver here about a second ahead of both of those drivers. So that race for second is still not quite over. 10 seconds is going to separate Kinsley Smith, who is gone, from this 8 driver here of Ecker. But you only have about 1.3 seconds are going to separate your second and third. And man, we'd be remiss if we didn't say that 8 is a teammate here to the 98 machine.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that, yeah. So, I mean, kind of makes sense too. The 98 kind of blocking the 94 there, trying to help his teammate get a good top 2 finish here tonight.
Yeah. Now Pendel still trying to find his way through. I think he has settled himself in. So let's see if we can go back and find some other battles, as Dennis Kane and Jesse Fox are going to battle with each other. Now this is going to be for your 8th position, as it looks like Dennis Kane's starting to lose some momentum. Now McCray is going to get by. McCray trying to battle back, Russ, from that 40-second hold, and that is just a killer here at Dover.
For sure. I mean, these guys are, they're clocking laps in the 24-second range. So, I mean, it 140-second hold to put you back a lap and a half. So, definitely a tough break there on that pit road penalty, and still looking to try to battle.
Yeah, McCray is now going to start chasing down Jesse. So McCray's in 9th. He wants that 8th position. So he is extremely close here, Russ.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's still positions open for James, even though he's down a lap, because only the top so many cars are on the late lap. Everybody else is a lap down. So even though he's a lap down, there's still positions for him to gain for points.
7 laps now to go here on the track. 2/10 now. 3/10 is going to separate these 2 drivers, and that is going to be for 8th position. The 69 has that 8th position. That is Jesse Fox. McCray now looking underneath as early as this turn right here, and he wants that 8th spot. Now going into 1 and 2, the 27 all over the 69.
Jesse, we know, I mean, we don't really talk about Jesse that much, but he's here each and every week trying to fight for positions and having a fairly decent run here tonight, and still trying to put up a battle against James here for 8th.
5 laps now to go on this race, 160 laps here at Dover. In your Thursday night Next Gen Racers Elite Series. And man, we have been nothing short of fireworks. And now McCray trying to find his way around. He wants that 8th position. Jesse doing a great job just hooking that car down to the bottom. But now McCray starting to take a look here.
Yeah, Jesse able to get that car right down on the bottom, kind of running a little bit of a defensive line there, trying to keep James back. I mean, we know James has got the speed. He's just going to have to make the move at the right spot, the right time here. Definitely not pushing the issue with Jesse.
Man, 3 laps to go. What is going to happen right here? This is your closest battle. Now McCray trying to go to the top to get a run off of 2. We'll see if that works for him. I'm not sure if it did. He did get a great run. He's going to go all the way to the bottom. Jesse trying to block. Jesse's now going to give him room. I believe he's going to give way. And man, he is going to get that pass done. So now McCray here up to 8th, but 2 laps to go. Russ, what can you say about this driver here in the 15?
Yeah, coming to the white flag, Kinsley Smith just having a dominant day once he got himself out in front. Had a great pit stop there on that last round of green flag stops, and checked himself out to a 10-second lead and hasn't looked back, able to maintain those tires. Coming through 3 and 4 for the last time, coming to take the checker, pick up this win here at Dover.
Kinsley Smith coming in and getting this victory here in that Next Gen Series. And there you have it. Dover, the 15. Kinsley Smith getting that win. What a dominant performance. Man, Russ, once he got out front, that was the end of that.
Yeah, for sure. He just kind of checked out and really never looked back. Great run for Curtis Ecker, able to pick up that P2, and then Chris Pindell and P3. Is going to be interesting having a little chat with him about the on-track shenanigans. We see it happening again here at post-race. Not over between these guys.
All right, Curtis Ecker coming home in 2nd position. Kinsley Smith right there in 1st. Man, and he just deserves that bird down. What a great run by that driver.
Yeah, we've seen Kensley have some pretty dominating runs before in some of the other series, and we've seen him do it here in the next gen series. He's kind of struggled in the series so far this season, I believe, and good to see him break out and pick up another win here in Races Elite in the
Yeah,
next gens.
absolutely. And he definitely did that. And so let's see if we can hide. Let's hide all of this stuff and let's go over to your results here for that race. And that is going to be Kinsley picking up the win. Curtis Ecker is going to be in second. Great run by that driver there in the A car. Pindell is going to be in third. Hoke in fourth. Marquis in fifth. Man, we didn't talk about Truth a whole lot, but great run there in fourth. Teft is going to be in sixth. Colehouse is going to be in seventh. McCray in eighth. Fox in ninth. Trevor right there in 10th. All right, so we are going to hide this thing and we're going to see if we can find some of these drivers here and see if we can pull up their stats. Let's see if we can see some of these drivers in our chat, in our waiting room. I do see Ecker right there. He is going to be your second place driver. And let's see if we can find him here. There he is. Let's see if we can pull Curtis up here in the booth. I thought we could. There he goes. Curtis, this is John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, man, you played the long game and you played it fantastic. You found your opportunity to pounce. You kept all four fenders nice and clean tonight. Walk me through your race.
Well, it started out pretty rough. All that first restart stuff, it really put me at the back of the pack. I ended up having to use my fast repair and was put back there. Almost went a lap down at the beginning of the race because of how I came out of pit road, but ended up making my way back through and kind of wish I was closer to see if I had anything for Kinsley.
Yeah, it just looked like Kinsley had that, that last green flag pit stop, had a great pit stop on and off of pit road. But man, it looked like about mid run to the back of the run, you were able to save the tires and you just had a ton of speed and you were able to work the bottom. Did you feel like there were two good lines, that mid line and that low line throughout the course of these runs?
Yeah, absolutely. The first 15, 20 laps, I definitely did not really like my car, but once you hit that 15, 20 mark, that thing just came to life and would do almost whatever I wanted it to.
Yeah, well, you did fantastic, man, bringing that sucker home in second. This is a fantastic runner. We talk about you every week and how you have been progressively getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Man, we can't wait for you to start rattling off some wins, but fantastic job bringing home second place tonight. And, man, we'll turn it over to you, let you give your shout-outs.
I appreciate it. You guys do an awesome broadcast. Everybody at Racers Elite and everybody who helps put everything on.
Yeah, fantastic job. Congratulations here on a second place. We look forward to talking to you right here again next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there he is. And let's see if we can bring Pindell up here in the booth. And Russ will let you handle this one. Chris, this is John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
And a little bit of fireworks out there tonight. He had a great run, running up towards the front most of the night, and then got caught up in a couple of incidents there throughout this race. Go ahead and take us back through everything and tell us about your race tonight.
Yeah, first off, I want to apologize to Andrew. He has every right to be mad. The first incident there, I wrecked him twice tonight. The first one, I tried passing him on the outside, and I got in the wall off the corner and got into him, and I immediately came over the radio and apologized and told race control to give me a penalty for that because that was totally on me. I was just trying to push. I couldn't pass him on the bottom. We ran side by side probably for 5 or 6 laps there and race clean, and then I just couldn't pass him on the bottom. So I tried passing him on top, and then I just got off the exit too hard, pushed a little too hard there, and hit the wall. And then the second one, I got a run off the exit of the corner and got underneath of him, and I um, pushed a little too hard and drifted up into him and spun him. So that's he. Like I said, he has every right to be mad. Um, I understand I understand he's upset, and I apologize once again. But overall, my night. I know you came in and chat with me earlier in the race when we was in the Misfits chat, and I told you I was really bad, and I really was bad. I just I couldn't save tires. Both my pit stops there. That one under green flag, my right front was at like 6, 7, and 37%. I was tearing the right front up, and I couldn't turn the car, and I was just able to just by my time be patient there, and just ride around and get a top three finish. I wasn't expecting that for sure, obviously, and I'll just I'll take it and move on to next week, and hopefully next week's a little bit better, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, I was down there talking with you guys a little bit earlier, and I mentioned in the broadcast how tire wear was going to be such a big factor here tonight because guys were out there running, making 40, 50 lap runs and then coming in with single digit tire wear left on their wheels. So, I mean, it's definitely a tire game here tonight. Do you think there was anything different that you could have changed about how you ran to be able to manage your tires just a little bit better to maybe have a little bit more there at the end?
Um, no, I mean, I tried running the middle, the high line, tried diming in the corners. It just seemed like it didn't matter. It just the tires. It was so hard to turn a car there on the long run. You could run the bottom, but you wear your tires up and run on the bottom the whole time, and you didn't get good drive off. And then diamond in, you helped out a little bit, but I just had a hard time turning the car. I was trying to back up my corners even to help, and it still wouldn't work for me. It just got really, really, really tight there on the long run. Even Truth was having problems with it, and so's the other guys. And so it was just frustrating. It was a tough night to be at Dover and try to manage tires. It was really tough. I seen a lot of guys was hitting the wall too there. Off the exit, man. Just it was rough.
Yeah, I mean Dover's a tough track. They don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing. But
Mhm.
this is I think this is the second time now that I've been in a chat where you said, "Oh, don't pick me, I'm junk," and then you've had a great run and you've dominated the race. So I'm not going to listen to that anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the flow because I mean I just can't believe when you say you're not feeling good in the car. So this is twice now that the last time I think you dominated the entire race when you said, "Oh, I don't feel good in this car tonight." And then tonight running up there and getting another podium. So, but man, you've been fast all season, and I'm sure we'll get you up here and talk with you again. But we'll go ahead and turn it over to you and let you give out any shout outs you got.
Yeah. Thanks guys for interviewing me here. And thanks to everybody at Racers Elite, Andrew. Everybody puts this on. Like I say, every time I talk to you guys, I love racing in the series. This is a fun group of guys, and everybody's usually clean and respectful. And I made a couple of dumb mistakes tonight, and like I said, I take fault for that and blame for that. Served my penalty too for it. So just thanks to everybody that races and watches, and thank you guys for getting up here in the broadcast booth and chatting with us and talking with us, and when you can, and I love going back and watching these races. It's always entertaining, and obviously thank you to my teammate over at Misfits. Um, they had decent nights tonight, and thanks to my buddy TJ Lane with my schemes and everything he's did for me, and yeah, we'll go home. I gotta get ready to go to bed here soon because I gotta get up at 5 in the morning. So I'm ready to get off here and get me a nap, get me going to bed.
All
And
right, man.
congrats
Well,
to
I'm
the winner,
sure.
Inslee. He dominated there at the end, put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Like I said, yeah, sure we'll be talking to you again. You've been really strong and fast all season long, so I'm sure it won't be long. We'll be talking to you again. So, congrats on a good run tonight, and hopefully we'll see you up here again next week.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, man.
All right, so there is your second place driver. Now let's see if we can pull in your winner here tonight, and we'll get him in the booth. Kinsley, this is John and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, holy, my friend, like once you found some clean air, it was over. Fantastic job, not only getting out there, but really managing the tires. And then what a fantastic job on and off of pit road, that green flag run. And man, what you had that 10-second lead, looked like McCray got a black flag for entering pits a little bit too quickly. Man, you just set sail and didn't look back. Walk me through your night.
Once I saw McCray got that penalty, I was just like, okay, next car behind him was at least 6 seconds back. So I was like, okay, I don't have to push it as hard. I can just manage the lead, keep the gap around, but around that time, and once everything cycled through and I saw 10 seconds, I was like, huh, that's a big gap. So I really just diamonded it the whole way and just really tried to keep my wheel as straight as I could, going through the corners, and mainly coming out of the corners, I felt was the main part of getting the wheel straight and keeping it straight, not sawing at it, and just really lightly getting into the throttle out of the turns.
Well, like I've always found at Dover, there's really, three good lines, and you've got that middle line a little bit later on in the run where you can enter a little bit higher, but you still work your way off. But all three of those lines I feel like are viable. You work your way down the track on the exit so you don't get close to that wall. I just feel like that wall at Dover is an absolute killer. What do I know? You dominated this thing by 10 seconds, I think, is what you had. But is that kind of what your game plan was, is just stay off of that wall on the exit of these turns?
Yeah, just try and get a good run coming off, and just stay down. I did hit the wall a couple times, but it wasn't too bad that it really hurt me or anything. And I mean, John, come on, we all know if you would have been out here, you would have been 20 seconds ahead of my 10 seconds.
I doubt that, my friend. But you put on one heck of a show, my friend. And it just looked like once you got clean air on the nose, you were able to put some fantastic lap times down. And we did see, maybe even the 94 catching you a little bit earlier. But, as Russ and I talked about, I just felt like you were saving those tires, just kind of waiting for those tires to come in. And once you did that, man, there was no looking back. Fantastic run, Kinsley, tonight, man. You really earned this one. Put a great win underneath your belt, man. Anything else you want to say about tonight?
Well, actually, one thing, today is actually my anniversary with my wife, so this is a good one. Good way to finish the night, and I guess I took one for the boys tonight.
I was
Uh,
gonna say she'd let you race.
Yeah.
yeah, she let me race, so probably a
Wow.
good one to let me race for because I actually won it. So
There you go. So it was all, at least it wasn't all for naught,
yeah, it wasn't all for nothing.
But
I may have to stay on my side of the bed tonight, but it wasn't for nothing.
but Kinsley, even if you did not win, we would all be okay with telling your wife that you did win tonight. So congratulations on your anniversary, my friend, and congratulations on a fantastic run here on this concrete Dover track. What can we look forward to the rest of this season, man? I mean, really, it's great to have you back. Great to have you racing, and man, I look forward to a really strong rest of the season from you. Are you going to be with us?
Should be, with summer coming to the end, daughter in school and stuff like that, work slowing down. Should be able to start banging out some more of these races.
Well, fantastic job, man. Coming in as your winner here at Dover. Kinsley, we'll turn it over to you, man. Let you give your shout outs.
Of course, like I mentioned before, my wife, happy anniversary. And then my daughter, she loves watching this back. As soon as I leave out of here, she's gonna be like, "Put it on TV, put it on TV." So that'll be a fun one to watch. And of course, all my teammates at Driving Extreme Inc., Andrew for putting this on, and you guys, of course, in the booth doing an amazing job every week.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. And congratulations on a win here at Dover. We look forward to speaking to you right here, same place, same time next week.
Thank you.
All right, so there is your winner, Kinsley Smith, celebrating an anniversary and choosing to get out here, hop into that sim here, Russ, and pick up a win at Dover. What a fantastic job by that driver.
Showed speed and strength there all night, and I guess he's part of just kind of an elite few who's just got that wife that understands that sometimes iRacing is a little bit more important.
Well, folks, I will tell you, fantastic job. Listen, we saw some fireworks. We saw some cautions early, but we settled down, watched a fantastic drive by this 15 machine to pick up that win. Another great job by Curtis Eckerd, 94 picking up that third position, and Christopher Pindell. This is just the beginning of a fantastic remainder of this season. Russ, great job tonight here at Dover. What else can we say?
Man, it was definitely a show for the ages. As you know, Racing Elite has a lot of them. You know, we see it quite a bit. And man, it's Dover. I mean, what else can you say? Next week we move on to Darlington, which could just see just as much fireworks. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here again. But you know that's your track, John. You're going to Darlington. You're going to one of your favorite tracks, and gonna possibly see more fireworks again next week.
Yeah, I love Darlington. I got to tell you, if you were wanting to see fireworks now, wait till you see turns 1 and 2 at Darlington. But we're certainly going to miss you, Russ, next week. But congratulations again to your top 3 finishers tonight. Russ, we will not see you next week, but we will see you in 2 weeks. For everyone else, we certainly appreciate you tuning in here to Racers Elite Network. Make sure you give us a like. Give us a subscription. If you don't have that, it doesn't cost you anything. Just click that subscribe. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so we certainly appreciate that. Russ, we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.